Hello, what's up everyone? This is Catalysis again. Diablo patch 2.6.1 is very exciting. I've been spending the past few days in playing it, and I have to say this is really a good job. So, thanks to Waker, we now know that how most of the build viable is now at A tier, and I'm really excited about this change. I got to play my favorite build. I don't have to follow what other people is using in order to compete anymore. But I found that there will always be a best build, and if we really want to compete for the leaderboard, everyone would just use a similar build in order to reach the top. And the problem of this is other build is not fully tested, so we don't have a good statistic. That's why we can't balance it properly. And another downside of that is we can't pay the build that we like. So that's why I'm suggesting a diversive and adaptive mode leaderboard. So it will start with just 4 basic sets. So for 5+3, we will just count towards a set with the success bonus active. And very soon, as more and more people finish Greater Rift using it and it's around 15 level within the maximum level that can be reached, they will split in the new leaderboard. So for example, for Barbarian Immortal King, it can split to like 5 different builds. And this is just a list of all the possible skill combo. I'll put this in a PDF file so you can check out this later on. So with all the change, I still feel like Barbarian can use some buff. So a lot of campaign is Vulcan Oath is weaker than the Pleather Blades. So what I suggest is we can bring back the occasional whirlwind furiously, which will fully benefit from all the whirlwind effect. This would add a slight damage to this blade, hopefully make it better than the Pleather blade. And with the change to the 4-set bonus, now Wen can be applied it. So what I suggest is add a damage reduction effect to Wen so that we can throw away the Caesar's Pride, because it will also produce 50% damage reduction now. Might of the Earth, I think we can use some buff to avalanche damage so that we can have avalanche build, and this will open up a non-dot variation for Might of the Earth. And personally, I would prefer this over the dot, because like you have to apply the dot and wait for the mobs to die, which is kind of less satisfying. For IK, I think we can add a core of the Asian build. So Canine Scorn, and right now we have the transport of this weapon. And in March we can pay with Canine in a special event. But why don't we just make it a usual thing? Just add the effect to Canine Scorn, and then make Core of the Asian summon King Canine to your side. Next, Crusader Shield Bars is being forgotten in a lot of patch. I know maybe it's because of the fail of Ascension. So I suggest if we can't fix the bug, maybe we just change it to 500% of the last shield bars casted. This way it's easier to fix it. Of course, damage buff would be needed in the other Blessed Shield Blast item in order to make it viable. Heaven's Fury is almost there, so I think we can introduce mechanism so that we can pop the Shield of Fury faster. Non-bomb currently is being outperformed by a lot of build, so I think we can just buff Marauder Drama with damage of bombardment by 200%. So this way we can just quickly bring non-bomb build, which is a lot of fans' favorite build, back into the viable state of the current game. Phoenix is also being forgotten, so damage buff, change Phoenix, uh, change it into Phoenix Bodyguard, and then add some damage to every piece of item, and I think that should save it. Demon Hunter, I think what we can do is we can extend the fun by buffing the Chakram item, and I think we can also make Hunter Wrath buff all generators. So this way we can bring Chakram and Elemental Arrow back into the meta. For Elemental Arrow, I suggest we change the Ball of Lightning effect. So instead of moving at 30%, which would cause a massive lag in higher difficulty, to just 80% slower. So this way we can add a damage to compensate it, and we will still kind of reset the gameplay, but it would be less computational demanding. Rapid-fire build, currently there's no build using this. I suggest we can add it to the UE set. With all this item, the damage should roughly be similar to the grenade build, so I think this would make it a viable alternative as well. Guided arrow, I love the infinite guided arrow build, so hungering arrow have a potential to become a very fun build. So what we need to do is just update some item to make it viable. Lastly, for Demon Hunter, I think Reinforce should be honored. In Diablo 2, Reinforce attack speed damage, so I think we can add it to this. It would also add as a minor buff to Natalia set because it increases attack speed, and also it can compete with Dawn because Dawn provides 40% of damage, and with this it would have slightly higher damage than Dawn, but the downside of it is they don't have control impaired immunity, so this would make interesting choice. Monk, once again I feel like 7-Side Strike Exploding Palm need to have different choice variation, so I suggest we just make the mostly used wound into the base effect and design new effect for the current wood. Warmer generator build, it can definitely use some damage reduction. Currently it's too squashy, so what I suggest is while we reach maximum, besides of increasing on damage, also increase armor effect. So this way you can't always have the armor, but when you face elite, you pop the max fury effect, max spirit effect, you get an armor to survive the damage from the elites. Combination of strike right now is not fully appreciated. So although we have Dual Giant Monk, but no one is using that, so I think by giving it armor and attack speed should make it an attractive alternative. Holy Beacon, currently once again not doing a lot of things, so I think we can give it 60% damage reduction for 8 seconds after using a healing skills. It can use as a unity replacement so that we can use a less squishy 1-6 generator build. Ramen of the Thousand Storm, since it's related to Storm, so I think what we can do is we can also put Swooping into it. To make it viable, besides of the 2 existing item, we can add some more item to buff the damage to a viable level. Next is Necromancer. I like the classic Necromancer gameplay that we use the skeleton to create corpse, then use corpse expression to clear group mobs. In D3, it would be a great build when killing boss because of the Bone Ringer, which increase damage of skeleton for every second it targeting the same target, and we can kill group mobs with the corpse explosion. And it also maximizes the use of Land of the Dead because currently Buzzsaw Mail have to require you to be inside Land of the Dead so that the command skeleton will deal extra damage. So with this, I suggest is Final Embrace to also benefit from the pet damage, because Final Embrace will summon kind of pet-like minions. So for it to benefit from pet damage, we can definitely use it with the ramen sets, and it will also use the Land of the Dead. This is another suggestion for personal army to waste skeleton. So in this case, we can have 17 skeleton, which should make a great skeleton build. And lastly, I think Corp Explosion can use some buff. For example, make it able to explode more corps so that it could be complete with corp lancing build. In area set, right now the melee groups site set is great. So, but for currently, for it to work, we need to dump all the essence, and a lot of people is using skeletal mage to clear all the essence. I think skeletal mage should be used in pet build. It shouldn't be used in melee build. So that's why I suggest we can change one of the wound in Dead Loafer to become consume all essence power, and this way we can just use it to dump all the excess essence and use the sickle to kill enemy. Witch Doctor Carnival definitely can use damage buff, so I say we distribute it to everywhere. And also it could use some damage reduction, so I suggest is buffing Big Bad will do make it gain Ghost Trace wound so that it will provide damage reductions. Gargantuan can also get a variety treatment, just make the most use the wood into basic room and change everything else accordingly. Zombie Charger, when I look at this, I found that Explosive Beast, it released a kind of zombie dog-like creature. So what I suggest is maybe we can make it to summon Gargantuan Dog to fight for you for 5 seconds. So this way, we bring Gargantuan Dog back into the meta, so because none of the build is using Gargantuan Dog right now. So I also think we can just increase zombie charging damage so that it will become a viable build. And when I look at Acid Cloud, I see Kiss of the Death Wound, which the Witch Doctor stuck to spread acid. If the zombie dog can also do that with a equipment of item, it should be fun. So in order to make it viable, I suggest we provide extra layer of damage reduction so that we can use this as a viable endgame build. So for Spider Queen, right now we have a set that summon extra Spider Queen. So what I think is we can make Spider Queen build into a thing by maybe turning Zombie Dog into Spider build and make them deal tons of damage. Angry Chicken build. So what I suggest is, because it's now only be used in speed 1 and is doesn't quite viable in T13 now, unless you have a very high paragon or some enchantment. So what I suggest is we add a ham so that your fetish will also turn into angry chicken, so you have tons of exploding chicken and the gameplay should be hilarious. Wizard, it really lack ranged defense. The melee defense is so great now, and now that the Thing of the Deep have 80% damage reduction, but ranged is really poor, so a lot of build is using that supposed to be melee damage reduction item to stay alive. So what I suggest is we can update some item like Primordial Soul to produce damage to provide damage reduction, Ashgrab Bloodbrazer to provide damage reduction, Also, make Storm Hour maybe provide a dodge chance because Wizard doesn't have a dodge, but Storm seems to be like suggesting fast, so dodging should make sense. I also think Energy Armor can use an item, maybe an item to provide all wounds and make it 50% stronger. Other defense option, I think, after using Way of Force, we gain some dodge chance because it seems like that you are jumping up, also roll with some Way of Force damage. And then able to cast Diamond Skin after using Teleport. This is just like what we can do in Hero of the Storm, so maybe we can make it into a thing. The last item may be a little bit OP, which can make user run by Event Horizon, but consider that now we can use the channel to create an extra black hole, and we can use tons of cooldown to create constant event horizon. I think this is not that OP actually. I also think that we can use some skill changes to some of the defense skill. Let's say make Force Hour keep armor as well, and make mirror image into summon one mirror image only, and give 35% dodge chance. To reduce it to one mirror image is to save some computational node, so this way I think we can use it more often. Tarasha should receive some quality of life change, for example the 4 set to be extended when like the 6 set. Black Hole is really good at grouping controlling mobs, and Meteor have a short delay, so these two skill form a natural combo. So what I think is we can make these two into a thing. Make using Black Hole buff the damage of Meteor, and then by including some more damage on Meteor, I think it can make a viable Meteor build. One thing I like about Diablo 2 is that we can summon tons of Hydra. Right now we can't do that, so what I suggest is maybe you can change one of the ham such that maybe mirror image can by using mirror image we can split Hydra into all elements, and by including some damage to Hydra maybe you can make it into a great build. It will definitely work like crazy with Tarasha, because now you just have to bring 2 skill in order to pop all 4 elements. Channeling build, it got great gameplay. It just let damage reduction and some damage, so I think is we can just quickly add some damage to it, and by including the defense items such as previously, I think it should be fine. Energy Twister, it consumes just too much resources, so I suggest maybe you can change one of the item to reduce resources cost for Energy Twister by 50%, and also reduce its movement speed so that it will more or less stay in one position, like the stuck in green bugs that got fixed, and this way we can bring Energy Twister back into meta. I really like the Diablo 2 Sea of Charge Bows gameplay, so I think is maybe you can change some of the access item to allow that. Last but not least, for Firebird, in patch 2.2 there is a Desolate Firebird build in which snow time is used as a source of damage. So what I suggest is maybe we can bring that back, but changing one of the item. So this is suggested because snow time will really help in kiting and herding, and to further buff it, I suggest we change another item such that Blizzard would now increase the fire damage taken by enemy. So this way we get to kite herd and make them take increased amount of damage per second damage, and this way it bring back the old herding and kiting gameplay of the Firebird Wizard. Finally, I want to talk about all cast items. So I have a list of them in another video, but what I feel like is maybe we can just bring a few quick items into the current game, which is all stat item. So all stat item would be very good for low paragon level player. So it would reduce the discrepancy of paragon power, and it would become a great item for power leveling. Just imagine what 1000 all stat would do to a level 1 character. So what I suggest is we can put it in all the slot like weapon, shoulder, jewelry, and even we can put it on one of the existing set item. So this is the end of today episode. I really hope that Blizzard can take some suggestions into consideration. I looking forward for the next patch. See you next time.